In the small town of Ravensbrook, nestled between dense forests and mist-covered hills, there stood an ancient library that carried with it a dark and mysterious history. The locals spoke of whispered voices in the silence of the night and eerie shadows that danced between the bookshelves. One gloomy evening, Emily, a curious and adventurous college student, decided to spend a night studying in the town's library for her upcoming exams. The library was an imposing structure with towering shelves that seemed to stretch into infinity. As the clock struck midnight, Emily found herself engrossed in her books, surrounded by the hushed stillness of the library. As the hours passed, the dim light flickered, casting unsettling shadows across the rows of dusty tomes. Emily couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched, and the air grew thick with an otherworldly tension. Suddenly, the temperature plummeted, and the creaking of ancient floorboards echoed through the library. Nervously, Emily glanced around, her eyes wide with unease. The books seemed to tremble on the shelves as if harboring some hidden secret. Just as she began to pack up her belongings, the room plunged into darkness. The only sound that remained was the rapid thudding of her heart. In the pitch-black void, Emily felt a chilling breeze brush against her neck, and a soft, sinister whisper enveloped her senses. "Leave," it hissed, the voice echoing from all directions. Panic seized her as she fumbled for her phone, desperately trying to illuminate the surroundings. As the feeble light of her phone pierced the darkness, Emily saw ghostly figures materializing among the bookshelves. Shadowy apparitions, their eyes hollow and empty, stared at her with an intensity that sent shivers down her spine. Frozen in terror, Emily watched as the figures silently shuffled closer. In a last-ditch effort to escape, Emily rushed towards the exit, the spectral entities trailing behind her. The library seemed to warp and twist, its architecture defying the laws of reality. The exit door loomed ahead like a beacon of hope, but just as Emily reached for the handle, a bone-chilling wail echoed through the air. The library's ghostly inhabitants surged forward, their ethereal forms merging with the darkness. The walls seemed to close in, trapping Emily in a suffocating embrace. Desperation clawed at her as she fought against an unseen force. And then, with a sudden jolt, everything fell silent. Emily found herself standing alone in the now tranquil library, the ghostly figures vanished without a trace. Trembling and disoriented, she stumbled out into the cold night air, leaving behind the haunted library of Ravensbrook. The townsfolk, aware of the library's malevolent reputation, avoided it after nightfall. It remained a place where the boundary between the living and the dead blurred, and those who dared to enter risked confronting the lingering spirits of a forgotten past. In the days that followed, Emily couldn't shake off the lingering terror of that night in the library. Sleep eluded her, and haunting whispers echoed in her dreams. Determined to unravel the mysteries that plagued her, she delved into the town's archives, seeking answers about the history of the cursed library. Her research revealed a dark secret buried in Ravensbrook's past. Decades ago, the library had been a gathering place for a secret society dabbling in the occult. The society's experiments went awry, leading to a catastrophic event that trapped the souls of its members within the library's walls. Undeterred by fear, Emily enlisted the help of a local historian, Mr. Thompson, who had long been fascinated by the town's supernatural history. Together, they uncovered a forgotten ritual that could potentially free the trapped spirits and lift the curse from the library. On a stormy night, Emily and Mr. Thompson returned to the library armed with ancient incantations and mystical artifacts. The air crackled with energy as they performed the ritual, each word resonating with the weight of decades-old despair. The library seemed to come alive, its spectral residents emerging from the shadows. As the final incantation echoed through the room, a blinding light enveloped the library. Emily felt a surge of otherworldly power, and the ghostly figures began to dissipate, their tormented expressions replaced by a sense of peace. It was as if the long-trapped souls were finally set free. The storm outside mirrored the tumult within the library, but as the ritual concluded, the skies cleared, and a serene calm settled over Ravensbrook. The once haunted library stood silent, its oppressive atmosphere lifted. Emily and Mr. Thompson, exhausted but victorious, emerged into the crisp night air. The townsfolk, unaware of the supernatural events that had transpired, found the library transformed. No longer shrouded in fear, it became a place of knowledge and solace once more. The once whispered tales of ghostly encounters now gave way to stories of a brave student who faced the paranormal and restored peace to the haunted library of Ravensbrook. Yet, as Emily walked away, she couldn't shake the feeling that the ancient spirits had left a mark on her. The library was free, but the echoes of that fateful night lingered in the recesses of her mind, a chilling reminder of the thin veil between the living and the dead. In the weeks that followed, Emily struggled to return to a semblance of normalcy. The haunted library had left an indelible mark on her, and the boundary between the supernatural and the mundane continued to blur. Whispers followed her in the quietest moments, and shadows seemed to move on their own accord. Haunted by a relentless curiosity, Emily delved deeper into the mysteries of Ravensbrook, driven by an insatiable desire to understand the supernatural forces that lingered in the town. She sought out local lore keepers, wise elders, and anyone who might hold the key to unlocking the secrets that clung to the fabric of Ravensbrook. One day, an elderly woman named Eleanor approached Emily. Her eyes carried the weight of years of wisdom, and she spoke of an ancient prophecy foretelling a chosen one who would either save or doom Ravensbrook. Emily, it seemed, had become entangled in a destiny not of her choosing. As Emily grappled with her newfound role, strange occurrences escalated in Ravensbrook. Unexplained phenomena became a part of daily life, and the townspeople whispered of a looming darkness threatening to engulf the town once more. Emily felt a sense of responsibility, compelled to confront the forces she had unwittingly unleashed. Eleanor guided Emily to a hidden chamber beneath the library, a place untouched by time. Within the chamber, arcane symbols adorned the walls, and an ancient book rested on a pedestal. The book contained the history of Ravensbrook, its secrets, and the means to confront the impending darkness. With a heavy heart, Emily realized that the library's curse was only a fragment of a larger, more malevolent force. The town itself was a battleground between the supernatural and the mortal, and she stood at the epicenter of the conflict. As Emily delved deeper into the book's pages, she uncovered a ritual that could seal the rift between the worlds. The ritual required sacrifices and great courage, but the fate of Ravensbrook hung in the balance. With the help of those willing to stand by her side, Emily prepared for a final confrontation with the encroaching darkness. The night of the ritual arrived, and Ravensbrook was cast in an eerie glow. The townspeople gathered, their faces a mix of fear and hope. As Emily chanted the ancient incantations, the boundary between the worlds wavered. Shadows writhed, and the air crackled with unseen energy. In a climactic moment, Emily and her allies faced manifestations of the darkness, each mirroring the fears and regrets of those who stood against them. The battle between the spectral and the living unfolded, echoing through the silent streets of Ravensbrook. With unwavering determination, Emily completed the ritual. A blinding light enveloped the town, and a profound silence settled over Ravensbrook. When the light faded, the darkness was gone, leaving behind a town forever changed. As the sun rose on a new day, Ravensbrook emerged from the shadows, its haunted past a distant memory. Emily, having played her part in the town's destiny, walked away with a heavy heart but newfound strength. The library, once a place of horror, now stood as a testament to the resilience of the living and the ability to confront even the darkest forces that lurk in the corners of the unknown. In the heart of the sleepy town of Eldritch Haven, there stood a grand library that had weathered centuries of history. The Eldritch Library, as it was known, was a repository of knowledge, its ancient shelves holding tomes that whispered secrets long forgotten. But the residents of Eldritch Haven knew better than to linger in the library after sundown, for tales of supernatural occurrences and ghostly apparitions clung to the place like shadows. Amelia, an ambitious university student majoring in ancient history, found herself drawn to the mystique of Eldritch Library. Determined to uncover the secrets hidden within its dusty volumes, she decided to spend a night immersed in her research. The town had its share of legends, but Amelia was a skeptic, dismissing the eerie tales as mere folklore. As the clock struck midnight, Amelia found herself alone in the library's dimly lit reading room. The creaking floorboards and the distant howling of the wind outside provided a haunting soundtrack to her late-night exploration. Undeterred, she delved into the ancient texts, losing herself in the passages that spoke of forgotten civilizations and arcane rituals. The air in the library seemed to thicken, and a chill ran down Amelia's spine. Unexplained drafts whispered through the shelves, causing the candle flames to flicker erratically. Still immersed in her research, Amelia attributed the eerie ambience to the age of the building and her overactive imagination. As the night wore on, Amelia's focus wavered. Faint whispers brushed against her ears, words too indistinct to comprehend. Startled, she looked around, half expecting to find another curious soul wandering the library at this late hour. However, the silence that followed was deafening. A sudden gust of wind extinguished the candles, plunging the room into darkness. Panic set in as Amelia fumbled for her flashlight, the beam cutting through the inky blackness. The library, once familiar and welcoming, now felt like a labyrinth of shadows and unseen entities. Amelia's footsteps echoed through the empty halls as she navigated her way towards the exit. Unseen hands seemed to tug at the edges of her consciousness, urging her to leave. The ancient books lining the shelves rustled as if whispering secrets only audible to the otherworldly. Just as she reached the library's entrance, a spectral figure materialized before her. Its eyes gleamed with an ethereal light, and a cold, haunting voice echoed in the silence. "Beware the knowledge you seek, for some truths are better left undisturbed," it warned, its form dissipating like mist. Determined to unravel the mystery, Amelia pressed on. The library seemed to resist her departure, its architecture shifting and distorting. The once familiar corridors twisted into nightmarish passages, each step leading her deeper into an otherworldly realm. Amelia's surroundings became a surreal dreamscape, where the boundaries between reality and the supernatural blurred. Whispers grew into haunting choruses, and shadowy figures danced at the edges of her vision. She stumbled upon a hidden chamber, its walls adorned with arcane symbols pulsating with an otherworldly energy. In the center of the chamber lay a tome bound in leather that seemed to hum with power. Compelled by an inexplicable force, Amelia opened the book and began reading the forbidden words within. The air crackled with arcane energy as she unwittingly unleashed a dormant force that had slumbered within the library for centuries. The eldritch library came alive with malevolent energy, and the once silent whispers crescendoed into tormented wails. Amelia, now a conduit for ancient powers, felt the weight of 1,000 souls pressing upon her. The library itself seemed to pulse with a dark heartbeat, resonating with the collective anguish of those who had crossed its threshold over the centuries. As the night unfolded, Eldritch Haven was engulfed in an otherworldly tempest. Unseen forces manifested throughout the town, and the boundary between the living and the dead disintegrated. The townspeople, tormented by apparitions from their pasts, sought refuge as the once charming streets became a nightmarish landscape. Amelia, trapped within the vortex of supernatural energy, realized the gravity of her actions. Desperate to undo the unleashed forces, she sought guidance from the spectral figure she had encountered earlier. Through the distorted reality, she followed its ethereal trail, each step more treacherous than the last. Guided by the spectral entity, Amelia discovered the key to sealing the rift between worlds hidden within the heart of the Eldritch Library. The ancient ritual required sacrifices, not of life, but of memories and regrets. As the clock ticked towards dawn, Amelia, with the help of those haunted by the library's unleashed forces, embarked on a perilous journey to restore the fragile balance. The ritual unfolded in the library's deepest chamber, where the arcane symbols pulsed in tandem with Amelia's heartbeat. The gathered souls, each burdened by their own past, willingly surrendered fragments of their memories, offering a collective sacrifice to bind the malevolent forces. As the ritual reached its crescendo, the library trembled, and the tempest-consuming eldritch haven began to recede. Shadows dissipated, and the tormented wails faded into an eerie silence. The spectral figure that had warned Amelia materialized once more, its eyes expressing gratitude before vanishing into the ether. The first rays of dawn illuminated Eldritch Haven, revealing a town forever changed. The Eldritch Library, once a nexus of darkness, stood as a testament to the resilience of the living. Amelia, now burdened with the memories of the haunting night, emerged from the library with a newfound understanding of the thin veil that separated the mundane from the supernatural. The townspeople, their memories altered by the ritual, went about their lives unaware of the horrors that had unfolded. The Eldritch Library, though forever marked by the events, regained an air of tranquility. But within its ancient walls, the echoes of that fateful night lingered, a reminder that some secrets are best left undisturbed, and the pursuit of knowledge can lead to the unraveling of the very fabric of reality. In the aftermath of the supernatural upheaval that had shaken Eldritch Haven, Amelia struggled to reconcile her role in the events that had transpired. The memories of the spectral figures, the haunting whispers, and the ethereal chamber weighed heavily on her mind. The once curious student found herself haunted by the knowledge that some truths were, indeed, better left undiscovered. As weeks passed, Eldritch Haven returned to a semblance of normalcy. The townspeople, their memories clouded by the ritual, went about their daily lives, blissfully ignorant of the supernatural forces that had threatened to consume them. The Eldritch Library, though scarred by the events, stood as a silent guardian of forgotten mysteries. Amelia, however, couldn't shake the feeling that the thin veil between the living and the supernatural still lingered. She became consumed by a relentless curiosity, a nagging desire to understand the true nature of the Eldritch Library and the forces it harbored. Her quest for understanding led her to delve into even darker corners of Eldritch Haven's history. She sought out elders and hermits who had chosen to remain on the fringes of society, those who whispered of ancient pacts and forbidden knowledge. In her pursuit, she uncovered a hidden sect that had long guarded the secrets of the Eldritch Library, their existence unknown to the unsuspecting townspeople. The sect, known as the Keepers of the Veil, had sworn an oath to safeguard the delicate balance between the worlds. They spoke of an ancient prophecy foretelling a chosen one who would either bring salvation or destruction to Eldritch Haven. The events Amelia had set into motion had stirred the dormant forces, and the equilibrium remained fragile. Haunted by her role as the unwitting catalyst, Amelia sought to make amends. The Keepers of the Veil, recognizing her genuine remorse and thirst for understanding, reluctantly agreed to guide her in mastering the ancient arts that governed the supernatural forces. Under their tutelage, Amelia honed her abilities to perceive the unseen and communicate with the spirits that lingered in the town. She delved into ancient grimoires, learning incantations to seal and ward off malevolent forces. The Eldritch Library became both her sanctuary and her training ground, its ancient tomes revealing the secrets of realms beyond the mortal plane. As her knowledge and power grew, so did the whispers that accompanied her every step. Eldritch Haven, it seemed, was a nexus of mystical energies, and the veil between worlds thinned with every incantation and ritual Amelia performed. The Keepers of the Veil, torn between gratitude and apprehension, watched as the once curious student transformed into a guardian of the town's delicate equilibrium. Eldritch Haven, however, was not without its challenges. The supernatural energies that Amelia had unleashed still lingered, manifesting in anomalies that defied explanation. Strange phenomena occurred, from objects moving on their own to echoes of ghostly laughter in deserted alleyways. The townspeople, oblivious to the underlying currents, began to experience inexplicable dreams and visions, their subconscious minds touched by the residual energies. Amelia, now both protector and harbinger of the supernatural, faced a daunting task. She had to navigate the intricate balance between the Keepers of the Veil's ancient traditions and the ever-changing landscape of Eldritch Haven. The thin veil persisted, and the town's fate hung in the delicate balance she struggled to maintain. The Eldritch Library, once a source of dread, became a focal point for Amelia's efforts. In its ancient chambers, she conducted rituals to channel the energies that permeated the town, seeking to harmonize the forces that threatened to pull it into the abyss. Each incantation, however, seemed to echo in the very foundations of the library, as if awakening ancient guardians that observed her every move. Amelia's nights were spent deciphering cryptic texts and consulting with the spectral figures that had once warned her of the consequences of meddling with the supernatural. The town's residents, unaware of the delicate dance between the mundane and the mystical, went about their lives, blissfully ignorant of the forces that lurked in the shadows. As seasons passed, Eldritch Haven became a place of uneasy coexistence between the known and the unknown. Amelia, burdened by the knowledge she had unleashed, walked the town's streets with a heavy heart. The Eldritch Library, forever scarred by the events, stood as a silent testament to the fragility of the veil between worlds. Amid the tranquility that had settled over Eldritch Haven, whispers of an impending cosmic event began to circulate. The ancient prophecy hinted at a celestial alignment that would either strengthen the veil or tear it asunder. Amelia, now an unwilling custodian of the town's destiny, prepared for a confrontation with forces beyond mortal comprehension. The skies above Eldritch Haven grew restless, mirroring the turmoil that stirred within the unseen realms. As the celestial event loomed on the horizon, Amelia braced herself for a battle that would determine the fate of the town and the delicate balance between the living and the supernatural. The Eldritch Library, its ancient walls echoing with the weight of centuries, awaited the inevitable clash of worlds. In the quiet town of Oakridge, nestled between rolling hills and dense forests, there stood an imposing structure known as the Ravenwood Library. Its towering spires and weathered stone facade held an air of ancient mystique, drawing both scholars and curious locals alike. The townsfolk spoke in hushed tones about the peculiar happenings that occurred within the library's labyrinthine halls after nightfall. One autumn evening, as the last rays of the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across Oakridge, Sarah, a university student with a penchant for the occult and the esoteric, decided to venture into the Ravenwood Library to unravel the mysteries whispered about in local folklore. Unfazed by the eerie tales, she saw the library as an opportunity to uncover forgotten knowledge and secrets that might aid her in her studies. The library's wooden doors groaned as Sarah pushed them open, entering a dimly lit foyer. Dust particles danced in the filtered light, and the scent of aged parchment hung in the air. The librarian, a stoic figure named Mr. Holloway, regarded her with a knowing look but offered no words of caution. As Sarah ventured deeper into the library's expansive interior, she marveled at the countless shelves laden with books of all shapes and sizes. The atmosphere was suffused with an unsettling quiet, interrupted only by the occasional creaking of the ancient floorboards beneath her feet. Undeterred, she selected a dusty tome from a neglected corner and began immersing herself in its pages. As the night wore on, Sarah found herself engrossed in a particularly ancient grimoire detailing forgotten rituals and incantations. Unbeknownst to her, the library seemed to come alive with a spectral energy. Wisps of shadow flickered at the corners of her vision, and whispers, barely audible, echoed through the labyrinthine aisles. A peculiar symbol, etched in silver ink, caught Sarah's eye. As she traced its intricate lines, an inexplicable chill ran down her spine. The library, she realized, was more than a repository of knowledge. It held a dormant power waiting to be awakened. The clock struck midnight, and the library underwent a transformation. The flickering candlelight cast elongated shadows that seemed to dance in macabre celebration. Unseen entities stirred, and a soft, haunting melody hummed through the air. Sarah, sensing the shift in energy, closed the grimoire and cautiously stood. The aisles of books rearranged themselves in a spectral ballet, creating a labyrinth that defied the library's physical constraints. Whispers grew into ghostly choruses, and Sarah felt the eyes of unseen watchers upon her. Yet, an irresistible curiosity propelled her forward, deeper into the ever-shifting maze. As she navigated the spectral corridors, the temperature dropped, and the air became heavy with the weight of forgotten memories. Figures clad in ethereal garments materialized, their features obscured by shadows. They moved with a mournful grace, their silent gazes fixed on Sarah. The library itself seemed to guide her towards a secluded chamber, its entrance hidden behind a veil of shifting shadows. Intricate runes adorned the walls, and a pedestal held a tome bound in leather that seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy. The whispers crescendoed, urging her to unlock the secrets within. Driven by a mixture of fascination and trepidation, Sarah opened the ancient tome. As she recited the long-forgotten incantations, the library responded with a surge of spectral energy. The chamber's walls undulated, and the figures surrounding her knelt in a silent acknowledgement. Unbeknownst to Sarah, she had become a conduit for the library's latent power. The boundary between the mortal realm and the supernatural blurred, and Oakridge found itself caught in a cosmic dance of ethereal forces. The library, once a mere repository, became a gateway to realms beyond imagination. Outside, the night sky took on an otherworldly hue as the veil between worlds thinned. The townsfolk, oblivious to the arcane events unfolding, slept soundly while the library pulsed with newfound vitality. Yet, with each passing moment, the balance teetered on the edge of chaos. As the cosmic dance reached its zenith, Sarah felt the weight of the library's power coursing through her veins. The spectral figures that surrounded her merged into a singular entity, a guardian of forgotten knowledge and a keeper of cosmic secrets. The library's sentient presence communicated with her, revealing the town's destiny intertwined with the ancient forces she had unleashed. With newfound purpose, Sarah embarked on a quest to understand the library's arcane nature and its impact on Oakridge. The once sleepy town became a nexus of mystical energies, attracting the curious and the ambitious. Scholars, mystics, and seekers of forbidden knowledge flocked to the Ravenwood Library, unaware of the cosmic forces at play. The library's spectral guardians guided Sarah in maintaining the delicate equilibrium between the realms. She studied ancient texts, communed with ethereal entities, and honed her abilities to navigate the ever-shifting energies that now permeated Oakridge. The library, once feared, became a sanctuary for those who sought the balance between the mundane and the mystical. As seasons cycled through, Oakridge transformed into a town unlike any other. Its streets echoed with the footsteps of scholars and mystics, drawn by the allure of the Ravenwood Library. Sarah, now a custodian of arcane knowledge, walked among them, her presence a beacon for those seeking enlightenment and understanding. Yet, with the newfound equilibrium came challenges. The library's power, though harnessed, remained unpredictable. Temporal anomalies, surreal visions, and echoes of forgotten histories manifested sporadically. Oakridge, caught between worlds, became a place where the extraordinary mingled with the ordinary in a delicate dance of cosmic harmony. Sarah's journey, now interwoven with the destiny of Oakridge, continued. The Ravenwood Library stood as a testament to the boundless possibilities and unfathomable mysteries that lurked within the pages of forgotten tomes. The town's fate, forever entangled with the cosmic forces she had awakened, remained suspended in the delicate balance between the known and the unknowable. As Sarah delved deeper into the enigmatic nature of the Ravenwood Library and the cosmic forces that now flowed through Oakridge, she discovered that the town had become a beacon for supernatural entities and otherworldly seekers. The once quiet streets teemed with individuals donned in mystic robes, their eyes alight with an insatiable thirst for knowledge. The library, once confined to the physical realm, now revealed hidden passages leading to ethereal chambers where time seemed to fold upon itself. Sarah's journey became a quest to understand the intricate web of realities that intersected in Oakridge, where the boundaries between dimensions were as fluid as the ink in an ancient manuscript. The spectral guardians that had emerged from the library's depths guided Sarah in communing with the cosmic energies that permeated the town. Through rituals and incantations, she learned to navigate the shifting planes of existence, forging connections with beings that existed beyond mortal comprehension. The library itself became a nexus, a meeting ground for entities from realms unknown. In the midst of her studies, Sarah encountered beings of unfathomable wisdom and cosmic significance. Eldritch scholars, astral wanderers, and entities bound to the very fabric of reality sought her guidance, drawn to the unique convergence of energies that Oakridge had become. The library's influence rippled across dimensions, leaving an indelible mark on the cosmic tapestry. As Oakridge embraced its newfound role as a sanctuary for seekers of arcane truths, the town's architecture underwent a transformation. Structures built in ages past revealed hidden symbols and sigils, and the air thrummed with a vibrancy that transcended the material plane. Sarah, now regarded as a conduit between realms, found herself at the epicenter of a metaphysical renaissance. The cosmic dance that Sarah had inadvertently initiated continued to unfold. Temporal rifts created pockets where echoes of bygone eras resonated with the present. Residents reported encounters with apparitions from different epochs, their lives intersecting with the ebb and flow of time like chapters in a cosmic novel. However, with the influx of supernatural energies, Oakridge also attracted entities of darker intent. Shadows lengthened, and whispers of malevolent forces seeking to exploit the town's mystical nexus circulated among the mystics and scholars. Sarah, now burdened with the responsibility of maintaining the delicate balance, faced a choice: to succumb to the looming threat or to fortify the town's defenses. A gathering of cosmic proportions unfolded in the Ravenwood Library, as mystics and scholars from various dimensions convened to discuss the impending peril. The spectral guardians, embodiments of the library's ancient wisdom, guided Sarah in orchestrating a collective effort to shield Oakridge from the encroaching darkness. Underneath the library's ancient spires, a ritual unfolded, a convergence of arcane energies that drew upon the combined wisdom of those who sought to protect the town. Sarah, surrounded by ethereal entities and mortal mystics alike, channeled the library's power to weave a protective ward that spanned the dimensions, warding off malevolent forces. As the ritual reached its zenith, a blinding light enveloped Oakridge, emanating from the heart of the Ravenwood Library. The town's skies shimmered with iridescent hues, a visual testament to the cosmic battle waged within unseen realms. The malevolent forces, thwarted by the united efforts of those who had come to Oakridge seeking enlightenment, recoiled into the shadows. With the cosmic threat repelled, Oakridge emerged from the ordeal forever changed. The library, though scarred by the struggle, stood as a bastion of cosmic wisdom and a beacon of unity between realms. Mystics and scholars, now bound by a shared purpose, continued to explore the intricacies of the supernatural under Sarah's guidance. The townsfolk, though unaware of the cosmic battles fought on their behalf, felt the residual effects of the harmonized energies. Oakridge became a town where the mundane and the mystical coexisted in a delicate dance, a testament to the enduring power of knowledge and the resilience of those who sought to unravel the mysteries that lay beyond the veil. As seasons cycled through, Oakridge thrived as a haven for seekers of cosmic truths. The Ravenwood Library, its shelves holding the accumulated wisdom of countless dimensions, became a pilgrimage site for those who yearned to transcend the limitations of the mortal realm. And Sarah, forever intertwined with the town's destiny, continued her studies as a guardian of the cosmic equilibrium, ensuring that the delicate balance between the known and the unknowable endured for generations to come.